Hey everyone, and welcome to our 88th Brew Talk of episode with Mr. Beer. My name is Robert Lewis. I will once again be your host for today's show. As always, we appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in and watch our videos. If you want to reference my notes for this video or any of our past 87 videos, you can find those on our blog page, mrbeer.com/blog. We post all the notes on there. We got videos on there, a bunch of cool written blogs on there, all kinds of fun stuff. So I want to give a welcome to all of the new brewers with Mr. Beer. If you got a beer making kit over the holiday weekend, hopefully you dove into it a little bit. We did put a little video out last week, the 23rd, just talking about some of our basic kind of brewing tips for the beginners, and we've done some kind of pretty basic level videos throughout the month of December, so go back and reference those. I think the best place to watch our past videos is probably on our YouTube channel. Search at Mr. Beer on YouTube, and you can find all of our videos on there. It's really easy to search through, check them out, and you can learn all kinds of cool stuff along the way. If you got any questions, just give our customer service team a call. Zach and Ashley are great. They can answer tickets. You've got a live chat, or you can give us a call and they can actually talk to you on the phone, and they can help you out with some brewing advice. All right, so today's topic is something that is a debate that has been going on since the age of refrigeration. And to me, it kind of seems more of an older school thing than a new school thing, and not that it is what it is, but the question is, or the topic is, should you pour your beer into a room temperature glass or into a cold glass? When I first started drinking beer in general, I had all my glasses in the freezer. I'd always pour, take the glass out, pour your beer and drink it. I feel like that's what a lot of people do when they first started drinking, or maybe that's just what we did, only 12 years ago, but it seems like a long time ago. But yeah, so I guess it's a question of more for your home brew. Should you pour them into a room temp glass or a frozen glass? So I think there are 3 reasons why you should not use a frozen glass and why you should not put your glassware in the freezer. We don't do it here. We never have. Most craft beer places, you go to a craft brewery, their glasses are just sitting out. They even rinse them with water, before they fill them up. Depending on what other restaurants you go to, they might have cold mugs, stuff like that. But typically, you should not be doing that. So the first reason is that, when you pour your beer into the frozen glass, you're going to get condensation that will occur from pouring a warmer beer into a frozen glass. So what it's going to do is it's going to dilute the beer slightly. Now, we're not talking a ton of water getting into the beer, but it will still get diluted. So you may not be able to experience the full maltiness or some of the full hop, flavors and aromas that could be present just due to condensation when you pour it in, and then condensation while it just sits in your glass. So you're getting a little bit of water building up in there. The second reason is that cold liquids can numb your palate. So you may not be able to taste, all that beer has to offer. So you're putting that cold glass to your mouth, that can numb your palate. So you might not be able to get a lot of the hops and aromas and stuff like that. And also, when you have a frozen mug, the first sip is usually icy, so that's not, something where you get a lot of flavor from either. And the third reason is that when the beer is very, very cold, so that's almost at like a freezing temp there, it can reduce the aroma and the flavor of the beer. So if you've had for example, if you've had like a big stout, like a 10% or a 12% stout, you take a sip and you let it sit out for like 15-20 minutes at room temperature, it's going to taste like a completely different beer as it warms up and some of those flavors start coming out. And that's true with most beers. As they warm up, you're going to start tasting different flavors. So if you're just having that cold glass, you might not get the full taste of how amazing that beer could be. Now, with all that being said, obviously, like I mentioned, we recommend not doing that, but our office is in Tucson, Arizona. So during the summer, when it's 110 degrees outside, sometimes having a nice frosty glass with a nice cold beer is just, after a long day in the heat, man, it's just the way to go. So teach their own with that. I think that it's, like I said, something that we don't recommend doing, something that you don't need to do. So our stance on that, if you want to enjoy all the flavors and all the aromas of the beer and everything that it has to offer, pour your beer into a glass that is at room temperature, not a glass that is from the freezer. It's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to like it, comment on it, or share it. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. We're at Mr. Beer on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We really appreciate it if you follow us on all 3. It just really helps us out. If you want to learn more about brewing with Mr. Beer or just join fellow homebrewers, join our Facebook group, Mr. Beer's Brewing Society. You can just go to Facebook and search Mr. Beer's Brewing Society. It's probably the pretty best way to find it. Pretty straightforward. We ask that you answer 3 questions or we won't let you in. If you don't answer those 3 questions, we won't let you in. So just please answer them so we can let you in. We're getting all kinds of new people now from, everyone brewing after the holiday season, getting those kits as gifts. So it's a good way to learn and educate yourselves, and just a great way to kind of get more familiarized with what we do and the people that work here and all kinds of fun stuff like that. That's going to wrap it up next week. I hope you guys have a great New Year. Make sure you're drinking some beer on New Year's, obviously. Doing what you can to celebrate, and I will talk to you guys next week. Cheers.